There are a number of really good games for the upcoming weekend of college football, but there's one game that's flying really under the radar that not only has massive Pac-12 implications, but has massive playoff implications as well. Number 9 UCLA travels to number 10 Oregon for a game that honestly could determine a potential playoff spot. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. I'll be posting college football videos every day during the season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. Like I mentioned, there's a number of great games for this upcoming weekend, but I think the best has the chance to be this Pac-12 matchup between UCLA and Oregon. Entering this contest, UCLA is ranked number 9 in the country and is 6-0 on the season. Meanwhile, with Oregon, they're ranked number 10 in the country, 5-1 on the season, but 3-0 in conference play. If you would have asked me prior to the season which two Pac-12 teams would be ranked inside the top 10 midway through October, I wouldn't have guessed these two programs. My guesses would have been USC and Utah. But instead, it's UCLA and Oregon who are having incredible seasons. Both programs are averaging 42 points a game this season. Oregon's averaging 512 yards per game, while UCLA is averaging 506 yards per game. Then on defense, you have Oregon allowing 373 yards, while UCLA is allowing 345 yards. On the ground, UCLA is allowing 99 yards, and Oregon is allowing 98 yards. So again, both of these teams are nearly identical through the first month and a half of the season. We'll start with Oregon because I don't think they're as big of a surprise as UCLA is. After starting the season ranked inside the top 15, Oregon got absolutely embarrassed by Georgia, losing 49-3. At that point, it looked like the Ducks' season was over, but they've won 5 straight games and have looked like one of the better teams in all of college football during this stretch. Over their last 5 games, Oregon has scored at least 40 points in all 5 matchups. They defeated Eastern Washington 70-14, and I get that's not that impressive of a victory. But when they hosted number 12 BYU, Oregon handled them with ease. In that game, the Ducks totaled nearly 500 yards of total offense while holding the solid Cougars offense in check. Then the following week, Oregon went on the road and pulled off the stunning victory at Washington State. Although they trailed late in the fourth quarter, Oregon responded by scoring 3 unanswered touchdowns within a few minutes. I get that it was a game they should have lost, but pulling off the victory was impressive in itself. Plus, Washington State has shown that they're a really good team in the Pac-12 this season. Then the following week, Oregon took care of business against Stanford as they defeated them by nearly 3 scores. Then Oregon went on the road and dismantled Arizona, defeating them by 27 points. So with the exception of their comeback victory over Washington State, Oregon hasn't had a game that's been close since week 1 against Georgia. While they've been on this run, Bo Nix has quietly emerged as a legitimate Heisman contender. On the season, he's thrown for over 1,500 yards with 12 passing touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. His QBR of 86 is top 10 in the entire nation. Not only has he put up fantastic numbers through the air, Bo Nix has done some damage on the ground. He's averaging more than 8 yards a carry this season and has rushed for over 330 yards with 8 rushing touchdowns. For those that have followed my channel for a long time, you know that I give Bo Nix a lot of crap, but I've always said that he has the potential to be a really good quarterback at the FBS level, and he's finally proven it this season. So you have an Oregon offense that's scoring with ease, and their defense has really stepped up over the last few weeks. Meanwhile, we flip over to UCLA, who is one of the biggest surprises in all of college football this season. They've started the season 6-0, and dating back to last season, have won 9 consecutive games. So this isn't just a fluke for them. The Bruins didn't get off to an impressive start to begin the season. I mean, based on who they played, you can make the case they had the easiest 4-game schedule to start the year. They defeated Bowling Green in week 1 with ease, and in week 2, they defeated Alabama State with ease. But in week 3, they had a close matchup against South Alabama, and the Bruins needed a game-winning field goal to take them down. Now, I will give credit where it's due, as South Alabama is one of the better group of 5 teams in all of college football this season, but still, you can't be struggling to put them away at home. Then, UCLA went on the road and handled Colorado with ease. So, like I mentioned, through the first 4 weeks of the season, the Bruins were undefeated, but I didn't think they were all that impressive. Well, they've proved me wrong over the last 2 games. They hosted number 15 Washington, where they looked like the better team from start to finish. Things got a little close near the end, but this was a game that UCLA controlled all the way through. Then number 11 Utah came into town, and UCLA really looked dominant against them. They defeated them 42-32, but a last-second touchdown really made this game look a lot closer than it was. So just like that, UCLA has back-to-back top 15 wins. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is also a sleeper for the Heisman Trophy, as he's had a fantastic season for the Bruins. He's thrown for over 1,500 yards and is completing 75% of his passes. He's thrown 15 touchdowns and has only 2 interceptions. On the ground, he's also added over 230 yards with 4 rushing scores. Meanwhile, on the ground, Zach Charbonnet has been one of the better running backs in the entire nation. He's rushed for over 600 yards and is averaging more than 7 yards a carry. Plus, he has 6 rushing scores as well. This is a Bruins offense that is much improved and looks like one of the top offenses in all of college football. They're averaging 42 points a game and more than 500 yards a game as well. So you take UCLA, who's undefeated, and Oregon, who's 5-1, and you match them up this week in a game that should determine who the best team in the Pac-12 currently is. Now I know what you're thinking, this game should have Pac-12 implications, in which it will, as UCLA and Oregon are the only 2 teams left in the conference that are 3-0 in conference play. But I do think this game has a chance to have potential playoff implications as well. We'll start off with Oregon, who's ranked number 10 in the country. After losing in week 1 to Georgia, they've done a nice job bouncing back and climbing back inside the top 10. If they're able to defeat UCLA this week, that's going to give them another quality victory. Plus, with a few matchups later in the season against Washington and Utah, that gives Oregon the chance to pick up a few more solid victories. As we've seen in years past, it's nearly impossible for a 2-loss team to reach the college football playoff, so Oregon desperately needs to win this game. If they pick up the victory, they'll likely move up a few spots in the AP poll, and if they're able to win the final 5 games of the season, plus defeat whoever they play in the Pac-12 title game, the Ducks are going to have a legitimate case to be one of the 4 playoff teams. Flipping things over to UCLA, they actually have the better case than Oregon does right now. They already have 2 quality victories in Washington and Utah, and they're undefeated on the season, meaning they can spare a loss. But if UCLA is able to pick up a win against Oregon, their 3rd consecutive victory over a top 15 team, then UCLA might be able to climb up to 7 or 6 in the AP poll. When looking at the remainder of UCLA's schedule, it features a bunch of easy games and 1 pretty difficult game. They'll have 5 games remaining after this matchup, including games against Stanford, Arizona State, Cal, and Arizona. So the Bruins should be able to win those 4 matchups. But on November 19th, UCLA hosts number 12 USC, which could be a massive game for Pac-12 and playoff implications. But if UCLA is able to pick up the victory against Oregon, and if they're able to take down USC at home, the Bruins are going to finish the season 12-0. They'll then face either Oregon, USC, or Utah in the Pac-12 title game, which will give them another quality victory. And if UCLA is able to pick up that win, they're going to finish the season 13-0 with 4 quality wins on their resume. Now, I know a lot of people like to dunk on the Pac-12, but if the Bruins finish the season undefeated, I don't see how you can keep them out of the playoff discussion. Obviously, there are a number of teams ahead of them, but if UCLA keeps winning, they're just going to keep climbing up these rankings. When looking at both of these schedules, it looks like Oregon has the much tougher road. They have to play UCLA this week, and they still have to play Washington and Utah. But like I mentioned, if they're able to win out, their only loss of the season is against Georgia, and they're going to finish the season on a potentially 12-game winning streak. Then with the Bruins, if they win out, it seems like it'd be really difficult to keep them out of the playoff discussion as well. So yeah, I just really wanted to talk about this matchup because I think it's a really intriguing one. With both teams undefeated in conference play, now what happens this week, I'm not exactly sure. As of right now, the Ducks are a 6-point favorite, and I think that's just a little too high. I think UCLA is going to hang around with them, and I definitely think UCLA can win this game. So whoever picks up the victory this weekend might just be the Pac-12's best shot of having a team reach the college football playoff. So what are your thoughts on this weekend's matchup between number 9 UCLA and number 10 Oregon? Who do you think is going to win the game? And if they win, do you think they have a chance to be a potential playoff team? Or do you think there's no chance in hell that the Pac-12 has any team reaching the college football playoff this season? Whatever your thoughts are on the game and one of these teams being a potential playoff team, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you love college football, then this is definitely the place for you. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm posting videos every day during the season, so make sure to subscribe if you call yourself a college football fan. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.